are listening to the Betterme podcast. Today's episode is going to be about habits. We have already talked about those habits which would be helpful for us to prosper, to become the best version of ourselves, or to enhance the abilities and skills that we must possess in our lives to get the max out of it. But today's episode is going to be a bit different. It is going to be about the worst habits that people have that affect their lives. Even you and me could have these habits. And often these habits are not going to be benefiting us in any way in our lives. And these have to be get ridden from our lives to prosper and to live a happy life. And I'm going to make this really very concise, and I'm going to be listing out 7 habits which are worst, and anybody who has those habits should try to get rid of them. The first and foremost habit that most of us possess, and most often we do not even know that we have such an habit, which in many ways have put us down, is dominating conversations. When we converse with people, some people have the habit of dominating the conversation. They do not want or they do not hear what the other person has got to say. Conversations are the basis to build a social rapport. It's not within your community or your friends or your close circle, but anywhere you go, to the place where you have to work or to any other place that you want to go and you want to survive, the first thing that you have to master is a perfect conversation. A conversation where you can make the other person feel comfortable and you can also express what you have in your mind and build a good rapport. For that, you should let the other person speak and also convey what you have got to say without dominating the other person. This habit, most of us have it, but we do not even realize that we possess such a habit because we are so much ingrained into the habit that we do not even realize that we have been dominating a conversation. If you already know that you are a person who dominates a conversation, or you have a dominant character and it is shown outright when you converse with people, then the first thing that you have to do is try to minimize it and totally avoid it. You may have got valid points to say, you may have really good ideas to share, but don't let the other person speak. Let them share their ideas, and when you get your turn or get your chance, express what you have, and in a polite way. It would indeed enhance your social well-being tremendously. And if you are somebody who does not know if you are a dominant person or you dominate a conversation, then it's time for you to think and realize or mentally go through conversations that you had with others and try to analyze if you have been rude or polite or dominant. I say this because you are the best judge of yourself. Nobody else knows about you better than you. But all we need to do is put that little bit of effort to analyze and decide your characteristics. The second habit that most people are into, and it's a very big issue nowadays because people overthink. Overthinking is a habit that we have inculcated in our lives because of the changing environment. As the technology grows, as we get more sophisticated with our new lifestyle, we also sophisticate the way we think. We don't take things normally. When something happens, we don't just let it happen normally. Instead, we overthink. We put in more effort than that is required on any of the thought that we have, and that is called as overthinking. Overthinking does not only take away your peace of mind, but it also creates problems that weren't even there in the first place. Overthinking does not only disturb the person who overthinks, but also others who are surrounded. Overthinking might not only place you in a complicated analysis, but it does not even let you analyze and enjoy or rejoice the simple things that are around you because you try to complicate simple things. That's what overthinking does to you. So, it's better to give up such a bad habit. One of the best ways to overcome overthinking is try to keep up a time frame within which you have to decide about something. Or when you think about something, make sure that you are not thinking about it continuously for a long period of time. You have to be present in the moment in order to control what you think or conscious of what you think and not spend a lot of time on a simple issue or a thought. The next habit that one must get rid of or give up is over attachment with people. People nowadays are too much attached with people, especially when it comes to a relationship, which is the main cause of all misery and unhappiness. They get too much attached that they forget to give preference to their own self. You are the first priority in your life, irrespective of what situation you are in or what the other person has done to you. Unless and until you take or you give preference to yourself and make yourself a priority, you won't be able to get the love or affection that you want from others. Looking forward to love or giving love is not wrong, but when it goes beyond a certain limit, too much of anything is good for nothing. Getting attached to people, falling in love, it's all fine, trying to help somebody, but when you overdo it, and how do you find out if you're overdoing it? It's very simple. When you're attached to somebody, a small change in them does affect you, yes, but you would be able to come out of it and analyze the situation and understand that people change and there's nothing to worry about, and you learn to live with it, or you learn to cope with the fact that they have changed. But when you're over attached, you won't be able to bear even the smallest change in anybody whom you're attached to, and it causes a huge amount of suffering and pain in your life because you are attached to them and you expect them, or you have certain expectations from them, which is going to hurt you in the long run. So over attachment is directly proportional to expectation, and which is also directly proportional to pain and suffering. So the best way is to reduce or do not overdo anything when it comes to attachment. The next habit that most of us have, to be very precise, almost every one of us has it at some point of time in our life. We might have procrastinated things that have to be done. And you know what happens when you procrastinate? You miss the golden time, that is the present moment. Sometimes you might not even end up doing the task because of procrastination. If you don't do it now, you're not going to be doing it at all. That is the fact. You get an idea, you want to do something, or you're supposed to do something, it's a duty, then do it. Do not procrastinate. Procrastination is the enemy of success. Anybody who wants to be successful in their life, in any part of their life, be it their social, physical, or mental, or emotional, whichever domain it be, if you want to be successful and if you're going to procrastinate, it means you're moving away from success. If you want to be successful, the first step that you take towards success is not to procrastinate. The next habit, this is something really kind of involving your emotions. You try to cheat yourself. Yes, some people get into this habit. They don't even know that they are into this habit of cheating themselves. But yes, the fact is they cheat themselves because they are unable to face the truth. Let me explain this with a scenario. You know something that is the truth about somebody or your own self, but you do not have the guts to face the truth. Hence, you, some way or the other, do not heed to it or do not take any action on behalf of it or to change it. Instead, you live your own life believing the fact that it's not true and cheat yourself. This habit should be found out if at all you have it, and you should try to change it. Believing the fact and taking actions accordingly is the only way through which you could overcome this habit. The next is, most people are into the habit of finding an excuse. When you are supposed to be doing something and you haven't done it, one who wants to succeed or prosper or live a happy life, be it in any realm, physically, emotionally, spiritually, socially, be it anything. If you want to succeed and be successful and be liked by all, then there's no point in giving excuses. When you're supposed to be doing something, keeping a promise, doing your duties, taking care of your responsibilities, and if you're not keeping up to it, you have to only think about how you can fix it or how to make it right. But we most often get into this part of finding an excuse because we truly do not want to fix it. If you truly want to succeed, if you truly want to be happy, then you will find a way to do it. Instead, what we do is we just give an excuse. The next time you make an excuse for something that you haven't done and you're supposed to be doing, just remember that it's a choice that you have made, and this choice shows what you really want in your life. If you want to be happy and successful, you should stop giving excuses. Last but not least, the most underrated habit, or it's become a part and parcel of our lives today, is too much social media. Too much social media has become an addiction to most of us. I would even categorize as one of the bad habits that is spoiling everybody today, right from children to adults to old age people. Everybody spends a lot of time, unwanted time, their precious golden time in unwanted social media. They get into the trap wantedly. That's what I would say. It's a trap. It actually manipulates you. Too much of anything is good for nothing. Again, the same thing applies here. We consume a lot of information which are irrelevant and needed for us. We're exposed to too much of toxic and manipulative content which is not going to help us in any way. So, you know what is good for you. You know what you need in your life to grow. You know what would make you happy. Anything that creates or imparts a negative feel in you is not needed. And that is called as negativity. And there's a lot of negativity out there in the social media. So it is up to you to limit the intake of it and plan your time, spend it wisely. Hope giving up these habits help you to lead the life that you desire. Feel free to share your comments and feedbacks in the comment section below. Also, do not forget to subscribe and press the bell icon.